that sounded pretty good, I think. This is our new creation. This is what I've built over the past 2 weeks. This guitar began its life as a Donner DST-1S, which you can buy on Amazon.com for about $140. That is a cheap budget guitar, and it's a very good budget guitar. Right out of the box, this thing played fantastic. The neck was straight. The fretwork was fantastic. It's got a basswood body, maple neck, ebony fretboard. And Donner sent me this guitar to review, and I did a great review of it. It's a fantastic budget guitar, and I got to keep the guitar, so I figured this would be a great guitar to mod, and I wanted to do it on a budget of about $200. So I basically took this guitar, I stripped it down to its core, I sanded, repainted the body, a gunmetal gray metallic. I replaced the pickups, I replaced the knobs, the pick guard, I replaced the tuning keys, I replaced the string tree, I replaced the nut with a Graphtec nut. I did a full setup on it after I was finished, and I've got this thing playing beautifully, and I think it sounds really good. We're going to put this head to head against what it was before a couple of weeks ago, and hopefully it will sound better. There are things that are not going to be as evident on this guitar compared to the old guitar, like the tuning stability on this guitar is much, much better. The tremolo stability on this guitar is much better. I'm still waiting for my black tremolo bar to come in the mail, so we're not doing any tremolo work, but I've tried another tremolo and it sounds fantastic, and it stays in tune. And so anyway, thank you for following along on this little project, this little 4-part series. And you know, some of these videos were very long, and so if you're not really into modding and rebuilding and changing pickups and whatnot, you probably haven't watched all of them, but if you did, thank you. And it was a fun little project to do. I'm by no means a guitar technician or an expert on any of these things, as you may have seen. I had a little difficulty in a few aspects of this build. But I just love to tinker, and I love to rip guitars apart and put them back together more to my liking. And so I hope you enjoyed this series. And so drop a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think this guitar sounds like compared to what it sounded like before. I think the pickups in the old guitar sounded pretty good, actually. You know, pickups can be really subtle sometimes, and I'm not apologizing for these pickups. If you think the old pickups sound better than these pickups, I'm not apologizing for these pickups, because pickups can be, the difference can be subtle. You know, there's so many variables to tone. These are a big variable to tone. But the amp that you're using and the effects that you're using, and of course the pickups are one of those variables. But if you don't know what you're doing, you can have very expensive pickups and make them sound bad. Or if you do know what you're doing, and hopefully I think I know what I'm doing, you can make really cheap pickups sound good. And I think I've made both of these cheap pickups sound pretty good. These are not cheap. These are mid-price pickups, like 40, 50 bucks. But the pickups that were in it were probably very cheap. Yet I still think they sounded quite good. And I've said this before, pickups are not really rocket science, you know, it's a magnet with wire wrapped around it, and that's pretty much it. 2 different types of magnets, Alnico and ceramic, and you know, you put a little more wire, put a little less wire, you change the tone, but there's not a whole lot of other things going on there with pickups. And a lot of it is marketing, really. This pickup, this Entwistle X2, is basically a copy of the Seymour Duncan JB. And I've played the Seymour Duncan JB, and I think this sounds just as good. And this is like a $40 pickup. And I think the Seymour Duncan is about a $90 pickup. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this series. And we're going to get back to the Top 100 solo list very soon. I've been working on For the Love of God. I've got it down. I just have to sit down and record it. And it was a tough one. It's a really tough solo. And I've done the whole thing, the whole instrumental. So you guys take care of yourselves. We'll see you next time with a solo. I haven't done one in about 2 weeks, so we're going to get back to that. So take care of yourselves. I hope you're happy in your little guitar corner of the world, and we'll see you next time. Ciao.